Oftentimes, I give people advice to have what I call a hoe phase, which I realize that's a loaded word with lots of people's subjective opinions and perspectives on it. From my perspective, how I view this, what I'm referring to as a hoe phase, is not just, it's much more than just experimenting. It's more like an adventure. It's self-exploration. It's exploring others in the world. It's opening yourself up in a very vulnerable sense to others in the world. Which, if I gave you some or all my stories and mishaps, but also fun times, you would see exactly what I'm talking about, where it had both an equal amount of excitement, excuse me, sorry, confirmation verb, but also fear, because of knowing like this person could like actually be a killer. This person could have, you know, AIDS, or just some uncurable thing that could be passed on to me, which I realize now could be something energetically. Being awoken to that, to the unseen now. But with that, and what brings this up is I was sitting here, and I don't know why, but I was thinking about my first, and I was also more accurately thinking about the idea and concept of your first. And a lot of people, there's a good amount, I wouldn't say that has to be a lot, but there's a good amount of people, and I used to be one of them. And I guess on some level I still am, that this first is so special. And I'm not, confirmation verb, saying that they aren't. But I realize that's a limiting belief after all that I've experienced now. And I say that because it was in not the way you would probably think comparison, but then I got to compare the same traits, not all the time, but sometimes, that were a part of my first, and others who didn't have that title to make it special. And over time, it wasn't right away, but I realized, not because of maybe, I wouldn't even say it was because of commonality, because some of it wasn't even like, I would say, a common traits or like experiences all the time. But I realized it ain't that special, and I'm the only one really making it that special. But I also, at the same time, and this can get paradoxical and kind of quantum, but at the same time it is special, and I still like allow and accept that to have its space as well, and its truth. But going along the path, I realized that it was more me building it up in my mind when I was younger, still fresh from the official first. But in a sense, I realized I can always have a first, if that makes sense. I think it does. There's still even the whole concept, I know it's not really talked about, and I wish there was a better way I could put it, but re-virginizing, that's literally just the fact that like that's a thing, and that yes, you can really do. You can like go into celibacy again and purify yourself to a state where yes, it would be your first. It will also, and that supports the whole thing that like you can always create another first. You can always have a first. There isn't just one first. You can have another first that's just as good or better, or just different. It doesn't even have to be better, just different, something more aligned to who you are now and where you're going. Or just knowing like this person's aligned to me now, and they are first in their own right, and I know that they're going to continue to be aligned with me as I grow and change, and that will be reciprocated. So I think the whole stigma, and that's what I want to clarify, it wasn't even just sexual exploration when I talk about hoeing around, because I think a lot of people miss the I shouldn't say miss, forget that hoeing around is something you can do emotionally and with your time. If we're gonna get real, or you wouldn't have people literally having fights, arguments, and breaking up from just an emotional bond forming between someone other than their partner. So yeah, take that all if it resonates or not, or just drop it, but something was coming through and I felt like I should share that, and that's just my experience, that's been my perspective. And on one last note, I wanted to say that I am so grateful because I was for that journey. Like, I definitely see where I could have shortened it. Which I think, honestly, when we get to the end of any journey, hoe phase journey, hoe phase journey, whatever you want to call it, or any other kind of journey in life, I feel like a lot of the time we're like, I could have spent less time on that path. But I'm still thankful, really, though, at the same time, as I say that, I can't really say that I would change anything about it, so I kind of don't even want to entirely lean into agreeing that I should have shortened it, because that's where I'm trusting that higher power, that part of me, that God, that they just saw it in a bigger way that I don't entirely understand. I don't need to, and that's why it was as long as it was. But yeah, I found myself kind of feeling like maybe I missed out on making my first special, but then really when I like sat there and thought about it, I was like, no, the hell I didn't. And I also was thinking of my ancestors, because they're a huge support for me, ones whether they be living or transitioned. But I thought about my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and so on. And I realized it was like, and I'm sure it would be the same for the men, but I resonate as divine feminine, so, and the feminines in my family have been great examples in my life. But I realized it's like, they would understand exactly what I mean. They're like, the first one ain't that special. Like, any more special than what you make it. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but I hope it gets to you, and it's very interesting. This is kind of an interesting message. I want to see if Spirit has one last thing. I want to pull a few cards. Actually, I'm being called to my Earth Magic and my Dragon Tarot. So just a few words. I'm going to leave you with a few cards from Spirit. Spirit, do you have anything to say to this collective? Oh. So, it's a completion. We have the full moon here. This has something to do with that tree that tells me it's ancestral. So this isn't just personal for you, but something's coming to a completion here. Maybe it's been a cycle too, because the moon cycles. Confirmation bird. Yeah. So whatever you've been working through that is both personal to you and your ancestors, you've completed it, you've worked through it. Congratulations. And from the way I'm feeling about this energy, it seems like it's kind of major. It's kind of big. We have winter solstice on the bottom. So definitely, it says reflection. So definitely take your time reflecting. This is really gonna shake things up for you. You're gonna feel like a whole new person. Like, this is like major energy. The old you or old versions of you are falling away. That's for sure. So reflect on this new you. Take the time, be still. Do you have anything else to say, Spirit? One last card. And then I get two. Yeah. Whatever this is that you release, that's going to be calling in strong foundations with the Queen of Pentacles, where you're going to be sitting in your power. I don't know if you can see, but she's very, like, not too proud, but she's very sure of herself and very stable. She knows how to command her kingdom. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. But at the same time, it's child wonderment is coming through. Yeah. So it's your inner child feels safe to wonder and play again, and to play with your imagination more accurately and specifically. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe. I love you all. I hope this got to whoever needed to hear it. And until next time, take care.